December 12, 2024, 2:47 a.m., Red Sea. The radar screen explodes with targets, 47 incoming threats. USS Carney's Combat Information Center erupts into controlled chaos. The destroyer's air warfare coordinator stares at the display. Dozens of drones, 3 cruise missiles, all heading straight for the battle group. This is the largest Houthi attack ever recorded. Navy warfare breaks down what happened next. The USS Carney wasn't alone. HMS Diamond, a British Type 45 destroyer, positioned 12 miles northeast. French frigate Languedoc holding the southern flank. 3 Allied warships. One mission: protect the commercial shipping lanes through Bab el-Mandeb Strait. The Houthis had been threatening this for weeks. Now they were executing. 2:47 a.m. First wave detected. 18 Shahed 136 drones launched from Yemen's western coast. Iranian-designed, GPS-guided, each carrying 40 kilograms of high explosive. Speed, 185 kilometers per hour. Altitude, 3,000 feet. Target, container ships in the southern Red Sea corridor. The commander makes the call. Weapons free. Engage all hostiles. USS Carney's AN/SPY-1D radar locks on. The Aegis combat system calculates intercept solutions in milliseconds. Fire control assigns targets. Priority, the cruise missiles. They're faster, more dangerous, capable of sinking a destroyer. 2:51 a.m. First SM-2 missile launches. The RIM-66 Standard Missile 2 screams off the Mk-41 vertical launch system. Mach 3.5. The missile climbs to 50,000 feet, then dives. Its active radar seeker acquires the Houthi cruise missile at 40 kilometers. Direct hit. $380 million worth of commercial cargo just stayed afloat. But 46 threats remain. The British destroyer HMS Diamond engages next. Sea Viper missiles launch in rapid succession. The Type 45's Samson radar tracks 16 drones simultaneously. Each Aster 30 missile costs $2 million. Each one saves a ship worth $200 million. The math works. 3:02 a.m. The drones adapt. The second wave comes in low, 150 feet above the water, trying to slip under radar coverage. 15 Shahed drones spread across a 40-mile front. The Houthis learned this tactic from Russia's attacks on Ukraine. It won't save them. USS Carney's CRAM system activates. The rolling airframe missile system is designed for exactly this. Close-in threats, low altitude, multiple targets. The 21-cell launcher rotates. Infrared seekers lock on to the drone's heat signatures. 11 missiles launch in 23 seconds. 11 drones explode before they reach 8 kilometers. Comment if you'd survive coordinating this defense. The French frigate Languedoc takes the southern targets. Its Aster 15 missiles intercept 6 drones between 5 and 15 kilometers out. The coordination is flawless. NATO interoperability in real time. 3 nations. 1 defensive network. This is what 70 years of alliance training looks like. 3:24 a.m. Third wave. The Houthis aren't done. 14 more drones launch from 3 different sites in Yemen. Sana'a intelligence suggests these came from positions near Al-Hudaydah, Taiz, and Damar. Distributed launch points. Harder to track. Harder to predict. The battle group adjusts. USS Carney shifts north. HMS Diamond moves to intercept the eastern cluster. The Aegis system shares tracking data across all 3 ships. What one radar sees, all 3 combat systems use. This is network-centric warfare. 3:31 a.m. The close-in defense activates. 4 drones break through the outer missile envelope. They're 4 kilometers out now. Too close for SM-2s. Too many for CRAM to handle alone. The Phalanx CIWS comes online. The close-in weapon system is the last line of defense. A 20mm Gatling gun. 4,500 rounds per minute. Radar-guided. Autonomous targeting. The system doesn't wait for human authorization at this range. It just fires. Brrrr. The sound is distinctive, unmistakable. The 6 rotating barrels spit tungsten penetrator rounds at 3,600 feet per second. The first drone disintegrates at 1,500 meters. Debris shower into the Red Sea. The second drone takes 200 rounds. It veers left and crashes. 2 drones left. 3:33 a.m. HMS Diamond's Phalanx engages. The British destroyer's CIWS tracks the third drone. 900 meters, 600 meters, 400 meters. The gun swivels with mechanical precision. The radar locks. The barrels spin up. Fire. The drone explodes 340 meters from the ship's hull. Close enough that the crew feels the shockwave. Close enough that fragments ping off the superstructure. But not close enough to kill. One drone remains. It's heading for a commercial tanker. The MT Nordic Freedom, a Norwegian-flagged vessel carrying 2 million barrels of crude oil. Market value, $140 million. If that tanker goes up, the entire southern Red Sea becomes an oil spill disaster zone. USS Carney's commander makes a decision. The destroyer accelerates to flank speed. 32 knots, positioning between the drone and the tanker. If that Shahed gets through, it hits Carney instead of the commercial ship. That's what destroyers do. They take the hit so others don't have to. 3:35 a.m. CRAM locks on. The last RIM 116 missile launches. The drone is 2 kilometers from the tanker. 1.5 kilometers. The missile closes at Mach 2. The infrared seeker tracks the Shahed's engine heat. Impact at 800 meters. The explosion lights up the pre-dawn darkness. Burning debris falls into the water. The tanker's crew doesn't even know how close they came to death. Navy warfare has the numbers. 8 hours. 47 drones destroyed. 3 cruise missiles intercepted. 0 Allied casualties. 0 commercial ships damaged. The Houthis threw everything they had at this battle group and achieved nothing. Who wins this fight? A. U.S. Navy. B. Houthi forces. C. It's a stalemate? Comment below. But let's break down what this cost. Each SM-2 missile, $2.1 million. USS Carney fired 8. That's $16.8 million. HMS Diamond fired 9 Aster missiles at $2 million each. Another $18 million. The French frigate added 6 Asters, $12 million more. CRAM missiles, $905,000 each. 14 fired across the battle group. $12.67 million. Total defensive expenditure, approximately $59.47 million. The Houthis lost 47 drones at roughly $20,000 each, maybe $940,000 total. The 3 cruise missiles cost more, perhaps $500,000 to $1 million each. Let's say $2.5 million total. The Houthis spent $344 million to force the Allies to spend $59.47 million. That's asymmetric warfare. But here's what the numbers don't show. Every commercial ship that passed safely through Bab el-Mandeb that night, every crew member who lived, every barrel of oil that reached its destination, every insurance premium that didn't skyrocket, every supply chain that didn't break. That's what $59.47 million bought. According to Pentagon officials, this engagement prevented an estimated $380 million in direct commercial losses, not counting the strategic value of keeping the Red Sea shipping lane open, not counting the message it sent to Iran. We're watching. We're ready. We'll intercept every attack. 4:47 a.m. Dawn breaks over the Red Sea. The battle group resumes patrol. USS Carney's crew conducts post-action assessment. Damage control teams inspect the superstructure for fragment impacts. Weapons crews reload the vertical launch cells. The Aegis system resets, ready for the next attack. Because there will be a next attack. Military intelligence reports suggest the Houthis have Iranian support for sustained operations. Tehran supplies the drones. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps provides training. The targeting data possibly comes from Iranian intelligence assets. This isn't just Yemen attacking ships. This is Iran testing Western resolve. The commander knows it. The Pentagon knows it. NATO knows it. Wait for what happened next in the diplomatic channels. It's significant. December 13th, 11 a.m., Washington, D.C. The National Security Council convenes an emergency meeting. The Red Sea engagement is the primary topic. The question on the table: does the United States expand operations against Houthi launch sites inside Yemen? The debate is intense. Option A: limited strikes against drone storage facilities. The U.S. has done this before. It sends a message but doesn't escalate dramatically. Option B: broader campaign against Houthi military infrastructure. This risks deeper involvement in Yemen's civil war. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are watching carefully. Option C: Increase naval presence but maintain defensive posture only. Let the Houthis waste resources on futile attacks. Economic attrition strategy. The decision hasn't been made public, but Navy warfare has sources. According to military sources familiar with the planning, the Pentagon is leaning toward a hybrid approach. Enhanced naval patrols with authorization for strikes against high-value Houthi targets. The goal: degrade their attack capability without triggering regional escalation. The USS Dwight D. Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group is already in the region. 2 more destroyers en route. The message is clear. The Red Sea stays open. December 15th. The Houthis issue a statement. Their spokesman claims the December 12th attack was a success because it disrupted Zionist and American navigation. The statement is propaganda. 0 ships were disrupted. 0 casualties inflicted. But it plays well to their domestic audience. Iran's foreign ministry issues its own statement, condemning American aggression in the region, calling the defensive actions provocative. The diplomatic theater continues. But on the water, the reality is simple. The U.S. Navy and its allies control the Red Sea. The Houthis can launch attacks. They can claim victories. They can issue statements. But they cannot stop commercial shipping. They cannot close the strait. They cannot win. Justified defense or escalation risk? Comment J for justified, E for escalation. Let's talk about the technology that made this possible. The Aegis combat system is 40 years old. It debuted in 1983 aboard USS Ticonderoga. But it's been continuously upgraded. The version on USS Carney is baseline 9. It can track more than 100 targets simultaneously. It can engage threats from sea level to the edge of space. It links with satellites, aircraft, and other ships. It's not just a weapon system. It's a battle network. The AN-SPY 1D radar is the heart of Aegis. It's a passive electronically scanned array. 4 fixed faces provide 360-degree coverage. Each face transmits and receives on multiple frequencies. The radar can track a golf ball at 165 kilometers. A Shahed 136 drone has a radar cross-section much larger than a golf ball. The Aegis system sees them coming from 200-plus kilometers away. The SM-2 missiles are equally impressive. Mach 3.5 speed, 170-kilometer range. Semi-active radar homing means they follow the illumination provided by the ship's radar. The missile doesn't need its own radar until terminal phase. This makes them harder to jam, harder to decoy, and devastatingly effective. The British Sea Viper system is different but complementary. The Aster missiles have thrust vectoring. They can execute high-G maneuvers that would tear apart other missiles. This makes them exceptional at intercepting low-altitude maneuvering targets, like cruise missiles, like drones flying nap of the Earth. The French Frem frigates add another layer. Their Aster 15 missiles are optimized for close-in defense, 30-kilometer range, active radar seeker from launch. They're fire-and-forget weapons. The ship's crew can engage one target and immediately shift to another. This is why the December 12th defense worked. 3 different systems, 3 different nations, 1 integrated network. NATO's investment in interoperability paid off in a single night. But here's the strategic question. Can the Houthis sustain these attacks? Intelligence reports suggest they have stockpiled hundreds of drones. Iran continues to resupply them through complex smuggling networks. Ships, trucks, even flights when possible. The flow of weapons continues despite international sanctions. The Houthis can keep attacking for months, maybe years. This is the new reality of Red Sea security. The Suez Canal handles 12% of global trade. Approximately 21,000 ships transit annually. Each one is a potential target. Each one requires protection. The economic stakes are staggering. Closing Bab el-Mandeb would force ships to route around Africa. That adds 3,500 nautical miles to Europe-Asia routes. Additional fuel costs, extended delivery times, supply chain chaos. Insurance companies are already increasing premiums for Red Sea transits. Some shipping firms are considering the Africa route despite the extra cost. The Houthis don't need to sink ships to achieve their goal. They just need to make the Red Sea expensive enough that companies avoid it. But Navy warfare knows the counter-strategy. The U.S. and its allies are committing to permanent increased naval presence. Operation Prosperity Guardian officially launched in December 2023. It's now being expanded. More ships, more countries, more coverage. The goal is simple. Make every Houthi attack fail. Make every attack costly. Force them to expend resources for zero gain. Economic attrition works both ways, and the U.S. Navy has much deeper pockets than the Houthis. Let's talk about the human side. The crew of USS Carney had been on deployment for 7 months when this engagement occurred. 7 months away from families. 7 months of 18-hour workdays. 7 months of tension and readiness drills. Then 8 hours of real combat. The air warfare coordinator who managed the initial engagement is a lieutenant commander with 12 years of service. He trained for this scenario hundreds of times in simulators. But no simulation captures the pressure of 47 real targets on radar. No drill includes the knowledge that failure means dead civilians. He performed flawlessly. The weapons crews who loaded and maintained those missiles are enlisted sailors. Most are in their early 20s. They've never fired a shot in anger before December 12th. Now they're combat veterans. Now they know what it feels like when the training becomes reality. They did their jobs. The Phalanx CIWS operators who took down those last-ditch threats are specialists. They maintain and operate the most automated weapon system in the Navy, but they still have to make split-second decisions. When to override, when to trust the machine, when to take manual control. They made the right calls. This is what Navy warfare covers. Not just the missiles and radars, the people behind them. December 20th. The Pentagon releases limited footage, declassified radar tracks, external camera views of missile launches, carefully edited to avoid revealing classified capabilities, but enough to show the world what happened. The message is clear. We can defend these waters. We will defend these waters. Any threat will be met with overwhelming response. The footage goes viral. Defense analysts break down every frame. Military enthusiasts debate tactics. Geopolitical experts assess implications. The engagement becomes a case study. Naval War College adds it to their curriculum. Allied navies request debriefs. December 12th becomes a reference point, the night the Houthis threw their best punch and hit nothing but air. But the question remains, what happens next? The Houthis have not stopped attacking. Smaller engagements continue almost nightly. Drones probe the defenses. Missiles launch and get intercepted. The battle group maintains constant alert status. This is the new normal. Analysts predict this could continue throughout 2025. The Yemen civil war shows no signs of resolution. Iran has no incentive to stop supporting the Houthis. The Red Sea remains a flashpoint. The U.S. Navy and its allies are settling in for a long campaign. Not a war. Not quite peace. Something in between. Drop your prediction. Does this escalate into direct U.S.-Iran conflict, or does it stay contained? Navy warfare wants to know your analysis. Here's what we know for certain. The Red Sea engagement on December 12, 2024, represents the largest air defense action by U.S. naval forces since Operation Desert Storm. 47 targets destroyed in 8 hours, 0 friendly losses, 0 mission failures. The USS Carney and her allies proved that modern naval air defense works. The decades of investment in Aegis, the years of training, the billions spent on missiles and radars, all validated in one night. But it also proved something else. The threat is real. The Houthis have the capability and will to launch mass attacks. Iran stands behind them with resources and intelligence. The Red Sea isn't safe just because the U.S. Navy is there. It's safe because the Navy fights for it every single night. This is the reality of 21st century naval warfare. Not massive fleet battles, not carrier duels, but constant vigilance, endless patrols, the grinding work of maintaining security in a world where anyone with a few drones thinks they can challenge a superpower. The Houthis learned a lesson on December 12th. They can't win this fight, but they haven't stopped trying. And Navy warfare will be here to cover every engagement, every missile launch, every successful defense. This is what we do. Real conflicts, real consequences, real coverage. The Red Sea battle isn't over. It's just beginning. And the U.S. Navy isn't going anywhere.